No one in this world is rich enough to buy his own childhood and youth back. Times like these helps to recreate those moments from time to time at no cost. Occasions like these leave us with nostalgic moments of the good old days, days of childhood innocence, days of molding and making us into what we have become today. My name is Kehinde Oladele JAYEOLA, and here is my good old days story. I hail from Ijebu in Odogbolu local government area of Ogun State, the hometown of my grandparents Alhaji Muse Diku and Muidatu Jayeola. I'm a twin of two boys as well as the second born in the family. I was born in Lagos and to the family of Elder and Mrs. Gabriel Adekunle Jayeola JP. My dad is a retired military officer as well as a retired principal, while my late mom was a petty trader. It is worthy to say that my dad was a disciplinarian. Of course, what do you expect from someone with a military background? Those disciplines, I must tell you, were some of those things that have kept us in check to these days. Growing up was filled with fun as we grew up in the midst of family, friends, and kind neighbors who looked out for everyone's child. You cannot misbehave in the neighborhood because even before you get home, be sure that someone has told your mom, and by the time that comes back in the evening, it will be time of reckoning. I remember coming back from primary school those days, and my mom would search our school bags daily to be sure we didn't bring what wasn't ours home. You dare not do things that will bring disgrace and embarrassment to your parents. You will be disciplined accordingly if you do so. I cannot forget an incident that happened in my early years where I had to help our landlord to open the gate so that his Peugeot 404 could come in. But unfortunately, as I did, I broke the standing mirror in a shop belonging to a co-tenant, and my mother was furious. I almost missed dinner that night because I couldn't come in, and when my daddy later came back in the evening, I couldn't still escape the punishment. I also remember when we moved to our house in Ojodu Ikeja, how my late mother became a mother figure to almost all the youth members in our church. They slept in our house many a time, such that many of them had their clothes stored in our house. Neighbors could not easily know that they were our friends, as many thought my mother had so many children. She will cook for all and we will eat food together, with each one trying to outdo the other. The fun and the love of staying together overpowered our different background and parental upbringing. Our parents taught us morals and how to behave in the society. We learned through verbal and non-verbal methods. If my mother, late Mrs. Florence Afolake Jayeola, saw you close to the guests in the house and she just looked at you, we knew what that meant already. You dare not collect any gift from people you didn't know, not to talk of a visitor offering you the remaining content of the bottle of Coke he drank. We went to evening lessons in company of other children, and we came back together looking out for one another. Even the Omo Igbos, as we fondly used to call people from the eastern part of Nigeria then, in our neighborhood, played and sang together in the evening by the moonlight. Those days, a thief was a thief, whether he was a Yoruba, Igbo or Hausa, and the whole community will rise up with one voice to condemn any acts of evil and misconduct, irrespective of where you came from. Are you thinking of the scenario today? God help us. I attended the prestigious Command Secondary School, Lagos, known for discipline and knowledge. While in Command Secondary School as a boarding house student, we had the RSM Ajaiyeoba, who helped to instill discipline in all the students, while the teachers imparted the knowledge. No one was beyond the koboko of the RSM, either male or female, if you came late to the dining hall, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or you were caught in the hostel while others had gone for prep to study, you will be severely punished. We learned how to engage in manual labor on Saturdays, dress your bed for Sunday inspection in all the hostels, and ensure cleanliness in all we did. All this contributed to the all-rounded students that were turned out in those days, students who could face the larger society and be confident and independent. Do we still have this crop of students these days? Debatable. I attended University of Ilorin and studied industrial chemistry. In those days, schooling was fun. One could travel so far away from home without any fear. No mobile phone to check or follow up on any child. Once our parents handed us to the bus driver, that was it. The rest was to support our journey with prayers. Then people were God-fearing, and there was no fear of kidnappers or ritual killings. I remember that surprise visit while in Ilorin. I remember with nostalgia how he traced my hostel and located me just by asking around. Dad, despite all those discipline stance, is a daunting father who was always after the welfare of his children. He ensured all his children had good education, and he continued to be a role model for us till now. He will always remind us of our family motto: remember the son of whom you are. Rántí ọmọ ẹni tí ìwọ ń ṣe. As he turns 80 next year by his grace, I pray for sound health and long life for him. We couldn't have had a better dad. In those days, we never had a reason to call home, as we would go to school with foodstuffs, cooking pots, money, and even with stove. Joint cooking was prominent in my school days. No one bothered about Yahoo Plus or whether the food was poisoned, as we ate together, and some students even slept 69 on the same bed. You know 69 sleeping position? For the benefit of the younger ones, the 69 sleeping position is when your partner sleeps while positioning his legs towards your head, and you also do the same with your legs positioned close to their heads too. This position creates more space in bed for more people to sleep. Good old days indeed. You might see it as punishment and discomfort today, but then we saw it as fun and ingenuity. Those good old days when we would come home during ASU strike and fuel scarcity in a Molue-like bus and slept in the bus park if it broke down before we got to Lagos. No fear of anything. We all looked for each other and life was fun-filled. Regrettably, those days of communal living are missing these days. It looks like the more the technology, the farther the families become from each other. Those times-tested values are lost in the attending waves and craze technology has brought with it. While development is good, the retainership of our morals and values is essential. The earlier we go back in time to start enforcing those age-long disciplines, the better for us as a race and as a nation. I love my country, and will always. I can say truly that I saw no tribe when growing up. People were people, at least to me. It didn't matter where you came from and how much money you or your parents had. I grew up knowing what dignity in labor meant through my hard-working parents. It is, however, disheartening to note that those values were held dear and cherished while growing up. These moral instructions that shaped our life to becoming who we are today have taken flight among those youths and indeed the larger society. Nigerian youths have all it takes to rule and reign globally. They must believe in themselves and commit to a lifestyle of hard work, prayers, and persistence. The idea is to trust the process and shun shortcuts to success as there are none. Nigeria is great and can be greater again. We earnestly desire orientation, a new mindset, and a renewed zeal to make Nigeria work. We need a Nigeria that will be safe, like in former times when everyone is secure and there was no need to worry about child kidnapping or molestation. A place where nobody will be defined by religion or religious affiliation. Yes, we can change the narrative. The day we start to truly value others as ourselves, then that change we truly desire will come. Our children certainly deserve a bright future, full of hopes and not of gory tales of scary future. You and I must therefore walk the talk by ensuring we right the wrongs. Great morals and sound education can never go out of fashion. Let's make it happen. To this end, I join Sir Shemore Badejo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.